Hey, welcome to Creatures of the Realm. My name is Henry Knight, episode 41. Tonight we got a big show. But before we get into that, we're going to talk about what's happening tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central. Join us, Playerole, and the guys for another adventure in our campaign called The Light, episode 6. And they're in a story arc called Drow City. It's a 6-episode arc in the campaign itself. So join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central. It's going to be awesome, and hopefully you guys will be there. Subscribe, like. I love you all, and thank you so much for your support. But here we go, the Creatures of the Realm, episode 41. Anyways, Creatures of the Realm. Tonight we're talking about the Githyanki, and the Githyanki. They're warlike, the warlike Githyanki and the contemplative Githzerai are sundered people, two cultures that utterly despise one another. Before they were Githyanki or Githzerai, these creatures are single race enslaved by mind flayers. Although they attempted to overthrow their masters many times, their rebellions are repeatedly crushed until the great leader named Gith arose. After much bloodshed, Gith and her followers threw off yoke of their Iliad's masters, but another leader named Zerithmion emerged in the aftermath of the battle. Zerithmion challenged Gith's motives, claiming that her strict martial leadership and desire of vengeance amounted to little more than another form of subvertive for her people. A rift erupted between the followers of each leader, and they eventually became two races whose they hate each other to this day. What these tall, gaunt creatures were like before the mind flayers enslaved them. Here we go. The Githyanki. The Githyanki warriors, to be on track here. The Githyanki plundered countless worlds from the decks of their astral vessels and the backs of the red dragons. Feathers, beads, gems, and precious metals decorate their armor and weapons. The legendary silver swords with which they cut through their foes. Since winning their freedom from the mind flayers, the Githyanki had become ruthless conquerors under the rulership of their dead Lich Queen, Velix. Yeah, they got some wild names. The Githyanki warriors, astral raiders. The Githyanki despise other races undertaking devastating raids that take them from their strongholds in the astral plane to the flare-flung corners of the multiverse. War is the ultimate expression of the Githyanki culture, and their pitless black eyes know no mercy. After a raid, they leave shattered survivors enough food and resources to weakenly endure. Later, the Githyanki return to their conquered foes, plundering them again and again. Sounds like great NPC usage for DMs. Let's look at the Githyanki warrior, their lawful evil. They're medium sized, their armor class is 17, their hit points is 49. They walk, well, their speed is 30. The major ability in the Githyanki, and you're looking at dexterity is the strongest one. Then we go by strength, followed by intelligence, wisdom around the same, and then constitution, and then charisma. Man, they're ugly, but it's okay. Let's see. Their saving throws are pretty good. +3. Con, intelligence, and wisdom. Passive perception, 11. Challenge rate of 3, 700 XPs. If you have plenty of Githyanki warriors, you will have your party in deep shit. They have innate spellcasting, psionics. At will, they can do Mage Hand, and those of you who have used in your games Mage Hand, they're fantastic. So just remember that. All right, here we go. They have 3 a day. They could jump, Misty Step, and non-detection. Self-use. Very, very cool for magic. The multi-attack, they have 2 greatsword attacks. And it's a +4 to their roll, 5 feet of reach, 2d6 +2 slashing damage, and then the psychic damage as well. So you're dealing with some pretty devious warriors. But let's continue, I'm not done yet. Okay, so silver swords. In ancient times, Gith knights created special weapons to combat their mind flayers' masters. These silver swords channel the force of the wielder's will, dealing psychic energy as well as physical energy. Githyanki can't become a knight until its masters the singular discipline needed to will such a blade into existence. A silver sword is equivalent to a greatsword and takes the properties of a +3 greatsword, which is very cool. So just remember that. What else? They ride red dragons. And this is all in the astral plane. This is where they dwell. So if you have a Githyanki in your party, in your game, you got to remember how this applies in your game. How you're going to use this creature or humanoid creature, yes, in your game. He's not a creature. Well, he is a creature, but he's humanoid. So we'll look at 2 things here. What's the good? He has excellent strength, +2. He's got excellent dexterity, decent hit points for a challenge rate of 3. Gives you 700 XPs, but that's great. His saving throws are a +3 because con, intelligence, and wisdom, +3. Excellent saving throws. That's the good. Another good, he uses Mage Hand, Misty Step, Jump, and non-detection. At will, he can use Mage Hand. And those of you who've used Mage Hand, it's an excellent spell to use. And this is at will. Okay, so another good thing, he attacks, you're going to get hit with 2d6 from your sword, and then on top of that, the psionic damage that was the silver sword ability that they have. They will that energy into the sword, which is fantastic. A very formidable opponent. If you have more than one, and you have a party, let's say you have a party of 4, and you have 6 of these warriors in the midst, guess what? It's going to be a big deal, and you're gonna deal with it because you go up against these guys, and it's going to be a bad thing. Okay, so let's move on from there. So I told you the good. You know, you have your pretty good stats. He has innate spell casting, which is fantastic. Mage Hand, at will, 3 a day. He can do the jump, Misty Step, and non-detection. And he can attack. A +4 to hit, which is excellent because he has that +3 Great sword. So that's excellent right there. And on top of that, you have your slashing damage and then your psychic damage. And that's all in one hit. It can knock you down. That's good. The bad. What is the bad to the Githyanki? The bad. You're looking at his movement. His movement is just 30. It's not a big deal. Most players, unless you're a monk and you get all these incredible movements as you go up level, most characters have 30 feet of movement and so forth. So either way, his movement is very slow. What's bad? His hit points are low. That's because he's challenge rated 3. But another thing that I didn't say before, what's good about him is his armor class is 17 for a challenge rate of 3. That's pretty deadly. Not much bad. The only thing I see is his speed right now for the Githyanki. And his passive perception is 11. Okay. The ugly. What is the ugly? He has a charisma of 10. The lowest ability. He has passive perception of 11. You know, you can get a drop on this guy. In your game, you can get a drop on this guy easily if you have, from a distance, range attacks. And if you have a good mage by you, you can take him out. The Githyanki. Okay, we're going to continue with the world of Githyanki. And that is a warrior. Okay, the Githyanki Knight. Lawful evil. He goes up. His armor class is 19. Hit points 91, 30 feet, challenge rate of 8, 3,900 experience. Granted, that is very different than the other one. I get it, but he's a knight, and the other one was just a warrior. That's the difference. Okay, so the knight, medium humanoid, the good. Okay, you have his armor class, his hit points, excellent. Strength is 16, dexterity is really good, followed by his constitution, intelligence, wisdom. His stats are really good. They're all pluses. His highest stat is strength, +3. His saving throw, excellent, +5 all across. Grab me some water. Passive perception, 12. Innate spellcasting, again, the same thing. The great sword, silver great sword. He uses his astral projection into the sword, dealing massive damage. This damage he deals is +9 to hit. That's pretty deadly. You roll 20-sided, that's a lot of damage. I mean, not damage, just to hit in general. His success rate is going to be a lot higher. Okay, so he does 2d6 +6. And then he does 3d6 with psychic damage. It's really good. Great, again, the good. He has great stats, great saving throws, at will, still mage hand for spells, 3 a day, jump, missy step, non-detection, and tongues. And then 1 a day, plane shift, which is a great spell. And then telekinesis, another one. That's good. So the good encompasses a lot. There's so much good in the Githyanki Knight. So, what's the bad? Not much. You're looking at a pretty powerful character. The only bad I see here is you're looking at the great armor class, good hit points, Great saving throws, passive perception, 12. That's the only thing I see is bad. Ugly, I would say, if you're looking at this character right now, because of his innate spellcasting, gives him the edge over players in a party. If you have more than one, you're going to give players, the party, a run for their money. You are. There's not much bad or ugly. I would say his speed, even if you have your range attacks, you still have to hit over an 18. He has plate armor, and of course he has great saving throws. So the Githyanki warrior, I give him a C. The Githyanki knight, I give him an A+. Such a good character, humanoid to use in your game. Okay, let's see. Let's move on. The Githzerai. Githzerai are focused philosophers, and they pursue lives of rigid order. Lean and muscular, they wear unadorned clothing, free of ornamentation, keeping their own counsel and trusting few creatures outside of their own kind, having turned their backs on their warlike Githyanki kin. The Githzerai maintain a strict monastic lifestyle, dwelling on islands of the order in the vast sea of chaos that is the plane of limbo. The Githzerai monk, they basically are psionic adepts. Okay, let's look at what they can do. They're lawful neutral. That's because they're more in tune with nature, astral plane, and all that stuff. They want more. They either want order or chaos, depending on how you play this character, because he's lawful neutral. So, the good. I see that he's being lawful neutral. You can control him to play in any way you see fit. It ins or out. Be a little evil here, a little good here, whatever you want to do, however you want to play it. The best thing about the Githzerai monk, I would see the good, stat-wise, ability, dexterity, highest stat, wisdom, and strength. Very, very good abilities. Okay. Saving throws. Another good. +3, +4, +3, and then +4. Strength, dex, intelligence, wisdom. 3 and up. Excellent. Challenge rating 2, 450. Innate spellcasting. Mage hand. 3 a day. Featherfall, jump, see invisibility, shield. The spellcasting increased. Psychic defense. They don't wear no armor, but they include their wisdom modifier, and that gives them a psychic defense. They do 2 unarmed strikes. Attack +4. The reach is 5. 1d8 +2 bludgeoning damage, and then on top of that, 2d8 psychic damage. This is a magic weapon attack. So, with that being said, you're looking at, hey Facebook, we're talking about the Githyanki and the Githzerai. It's the humanoids we're dealing with today in Creatures of the Realm. Alright, so the Githzerai monk, they have decent armor class, and their attacks are very powerful. A +4 gives you to your hit, +2 attack. And then you do your 1d8, which is not considered a big deal, +2 bludgeoning damage. Remember, he's a monk. And he does, on top of that, 2d8 psychic damage, because this is a magic weapon attack. So this monk, just remember, this creature he has elongated ears, no slots to his eyes, kind of looks like a, what is that creature? I'm trying to think. The alien looks elongated ears, elven ears. He's got this no hair on his head, and he has these tattoos on his head, or symbols on his head, and then he has elongated chin. His nose, you could see 2 slots for his nose, and he's got monk attire. Very cool looking. Actually, I can't say what they resemble, but they are this guy is very cool looking. Okay, here we go. So the monk, for the good, he's got a lot of good. He has insight of +4. Everything is saving throw is between 3 and up. 4 is the highest, but that's really good. The bad. Let's look at the bad again. The bad, you could get him from a long range attack, fine. The bad is he doesn't have armor, but he has this other innate armor, this psychic defense, which is very cool. His armor class is 14. If you can get him from afar, you can kill this guy. The bad in here, I would say speed 30, but that's, everybody, unless you're a race that gives you more speed, or you're playing a monk, player-wise, that gives you speed when you go up the level. 30 is pretty much average. But I wouldn't give that a bad. I'd probably give the charisma, being no modifier, a bad. That's probably the worst thing on this stat block. The worst thing on the stat block. Okay, so let's continue. His innate spellcasting, all that is good. The only thing I see, the good spellcasting, good modifiers, good saving throws, everything is higher than a 3. The bad, low hit points. If he gets nailed, 38 is not going to cut it. So just remember that. And the ugly, I would say hit points as well. And I give him, I'd say probably a C-. All right, let's move on to the last of the Githzerai. This is called the Githzerai Zerth. As disciplined, here we go. Skilled Githzerai monks that best amplify the teachings and principles of Zermon are called Zerths. These powerful and disciplined monks can shift their bodies from one plane to another, using only the power in their minds. So there you go with that. The Githzerai Zerth. Medium humanoid, lawful neutral. They're good. Decent armor class, decent hit points, excellent. Dexterity 18, Constitution high, Intelligence high, all pluses all around. Saving throws are amazing. His Dexterity, you're not going to touch them, it's a +7 for saving throw. Skills, Arcana, Insight, Perception, all 6s. Excellent. Challenge rate is 6, 2300. His Again, spellcasting. Spell save. DC 14 plus 6 to hit with spell attacks. That's his innate spellcasting, psionic abilities. And that's fantastic. He does 3 a day, Featherfall, Jump, See Invisibility, Shield. 1 a day, each Phantasmal Killer and Plane Shift. For those of you who don't know what Phantasmal Killer is, you tap into the nightmares of a creature you can see within your range and create an illusionary manifestation of its deepest fears, visible only to that creature. Target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target becomes frightened for the duration. At the end of each of the target's turns before the spell ends, the target must succeed a wisdom saving throw or take a 4d10 psychic damage. On a successful, the spell ends. That is amazing. But he can do those 1 a day. So, and Plane Shift, well, you know what that is, right, folks? You and up to 8 willing creatures who link the hands in the circle are transported to a different plane of existence. An example. If you do this, this is kind of like, oh, we lost. We have to go and flee. So we're going to do this plane shift. So if there's other warriors or knights in the combat map, this Githzerai is going to go ahead and do it. But remember, Githyanki and Githzerai do not get along. So Githzerai is only going to deal with his people, her people, and not the Githyanki. So, that being said, I'd give between the Githzerai Zerth and the Githzerai Knight, I give the Githzerai Knight an A+. And then the Githzerai Zerth, I give it a B. The Knight is very good attacks, and it could take a lot, and because it has plate armor, it has decent spell attacks. Githzerai Zerth has amazing spell attacks. And you have to, your save is a DC 14 for spell saves. This character has great saving throws, good armor class, good hit points, great stats, all around great. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. That's all we have for Creatures of the Realm, episode 41. Wow, I can't talk today. It happens. Episode 41. Just remember, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central, the campaign continues. Season 2, The Light, episode 2, called Dark City. It's the Dark City. Yes. Anyways, see us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central. Drow City, not Dark City. Excuse me. See us tomorrow night. Be there, please. And we're going to have a great time. And I'll see you guys in 15 minutes on DM Talk. Take care.